What's up, YouTube? Hefe coming to you, Captain Awesome's Fish Room. We're going to be building the step-by-step overflow for the drip system for Big Rig's tank here. So here we go. You're going to be sitting on top of the primer, so I can't show that to you. Alright. So basically what you do is you cut your pipes to length. Here, I'll show you that too. Where it's actually going in the tank, as you can see, right, well, I guess you're not going to be able to see. Well, here. You see that hole right there, right by the filter? See, this pipe is going to come down, and these holes are going to sit about right there inside the tank. The water level's low, so it's going to be sitting right there. And anything over that the drip system puts in there is what's going to overflow inside these holes. So you don't need a siphon break. Greg Jones was asking me about that, and I kind of explained it to him, but it's going to be easier to see why you don't need a siphon break as you're building it, because the water isn't actually traveling through the PVC connections. Okay, it's not actually traveling through that. It's actually just a reservoir for this rubber tube to pull water from. So these holes right here are actually the siphon break. What happens is the water is going to overflow, and it's going to sit inside the bottom of this tube. And what you're priming is this tube right here that's going to suck the water out and over and into the second pipe, where then it's going to flow out through this. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and get building it. That way I can show y'all. We're going to start with the connections here. The reason I'm using a street elbow, just like I did in the last one, is because it creates a smaller gap in between, so it won't sit oblonged on there, and it won't be so hard for it to sit there sturdy. So we get our PVC glue and do the inside of this one. That looks good. There we go. I've already primed them all. I figured it'd cut down on video time. And then we let's see, get some glue on here. Like that. There we go. Looking good. And then you're going to start out like this. See? Like that. You push it in all the way, and then you turn a quarter to a half, and then make sure you get them straight. See? Nice and straight. And then just hold them there for a second, because it can push out a little bit. So just hold them there. And you don't have to hold them there that long, but see, that ought to do it right there. Then you got the top here. I've already drilled the holes. I used a drill bit that's slightly smaller than 3/8 inch, which is this tube here. It's 3/8 inch. And what I used to drill the holes in this was a Dremel tool. So next we'll start putting our pipe fittings on. So we'll start with the back. And if you've already primed them, guys, you want to make sure that the primed area doesn't have any burrs on it or anything. And with the holes that you cut, I use this deburring tool. You can find them in any hardware store. You just stick it in the hole and go around like that, and it deburrs it for you. But here we go. Alright, so now we're going to start with the outside, which is what is not going to be on the inside of the tank. Right there. Got a little blob right there. Right there. Oh, got the drip. There we go. Alright. That looks good. There. Alright. Do the piping here. And the reason I'm showing you you know, me putting it together is because, you know, PVC, you know, putting together PVC could be kind of intimidating for some people, but it's I just want to show y'all how easy it is. Alright, and then you just push it all the way in like that, and then you turn a little like that, and then, you know, hold it in place for a few seconds. That ought to do it right there. Alright, now we're going to put our T on, and this is for the outside here, so this is going to go right here. And here in a second, I'll show y'all why I make the back bigger or longer than what goes inside the inside of the tank. That looks good, just a little bit right there. Alright. Oh, I didn't prime my tea. How about them apples? Good thing I got an extra can here. New cans are always hard to open, so make sure you got one of your good wrenches there. Pop it right open. There we go. And of course these videos are going to be a little bit longer, guys, you know, building something, but there we go. Got that nice and primed. This stuff's more runny than the other stuff. Huh. Alright. Get it nice and good in there. Like that. Got both sides. And let me show you why this plastic matting is really cool. Because look, I just spilt it. That would have stained my carpet, but it ain't now. So we'll move that out of the way. Kind of junky, but anyways, alright. So this glue dries really fast, so I'm gonna have to put like a little coat back on the other one. Alright, but we got that, and then we'll run over to this one, run a quick little redo on there. Alright, there we go. Alright, and then start off, push it in, and then you want to try to make, well actually I want this one turned a little bit. Like that. Yeah. So there we go. Hold it a little bit. It's good. Alright. Then this little piece here is going to go after that T. So that's the weird thing about overflows is, you know, when you hear overflow, you think, I mean, you automatically think flood. It's one thing that comes to mind when you're doing a DIY. But the cool thing about this is that it's only going to take the water that's put into the tank. So, you know, it's not gonna you know, take water out of the tank that was already there. I mean, it's only taking the water that's being put in by the drip. So, forgot to prime my caps too. I'm letting y'all down. The other one here. Oh, I'm not priming those. Well, the inside anyway, so I'll just grab another one. There we go. Let me tell you something about these stickers, guys. You take them off nice and slow, you don't get any residue. Like this. Take them off nice and slow, that way you don't have to worry about taking off the gunk. So be patient with it. Alright, now we're ready to glue this end on. Like that. And this glue is amazing, by the way, guys. It dries super, super, super fast. If y'all don't know the glue I'm talking about, I have an earlier video where I showed y'all what I picked up. Check that out. With the cap, boom, on there. Alright, so we got the whole back section done. Right there. Now all we got to do is put the front section on, and then I'll show y'all how I measure the tube. So, some glue in there. And the reason I keep checking it, guys, you see me moving it around so I can look at it, is because you don't want puddles in there. Because that can actually cause a leak. At least that's what I read on when I was reading how to put PVC together. They said you don't want to do puddles because it can cause leaks and a bad bond, and it can, you know, pop on you later. So then we put this in there like so. There we go. And then of course this cap isn't going to be PVC'd on. I want to be able to take it off to clean it. So now let me explain why I have the back longer than the front. When you have this tube in there, when you're doing you know, something like this, and you have a, you know, it's kind of like a gravel vac, okay? If this tube is longer than the part that is over here, it'll actually flow better. Just like when you're gravel vacuuming, you know, doing these tanks that are on the floor here, the water doesn't flow as fast because the end of the gravel vac hosing is, you know, almost at the same height of where you're gravel vacuuming, if that makes any sense. So this is how you measure your tube. Do it. There we go. What I do is I put the start of the tubing right there on the nudge of the cap, right? And then I hold it in place, get it up here, and then hold it, hold it like that, and then you want to make a loop at the top. This is going to be, you know, kind of your overflow reservoir. So like that, to where it won't kink up, and then, oh, well, there we go, like that, so it won't kink up. And then you want to hold that, and then bring it down. See, that one's a little bit long, and you don't want it to touch the bottom, so, you know, because you don't want it to, you know, you don't want the siphon to, you know, kind of push that tube against the wall and it not be able to suck anymore. So I'm going to cut it off right at that cap there. Like that. Alright. And then those holes I drilled earlier, this tube is just going to go in there like that. And this is how you know, this is another reason why I didn't want to glue these in, this end on anyway, is because when you're putting it in there, you know, you really can't see where it ends at. So if you have that end off, see, last time I had to wait to PVC the end on until I got this in, so this actually makes it better. Just run it down. Okay, see how it's coming out of the end there? You know you went too far, so you can just back it up to a little bit past right there, maybe like finger's length. That's about where we had it. Perfect. And then you can jam the other side in. Like so. And then this way I'll be able to explain how it works after I get this in there. And it's kind of tough to fit in there, guys. You want it like that. That way it won't pop out on you. But once you get it feeding in there, it's pretty easy. It's kind of stuck on that T down there. There we go. So there we have our loop. And how this works, okay, sits in the tank like this. This side is going to be the inside of the tank. It has the holes there. Now when it's inside the tank, water is going to overflow into these holes right here and create, you know, a reservoir down here where there's going to be water. Well, as soon as that water rises up enough to where this tube can pull it, it's going to start sucking through the tube over and then flow down into here, which is going to create a reservoir. And once it gets up to about right here inside this T, it's going to start overflowing inside the 3/8 inch tube and go to the waste drain. Okay? Now, how this is collecting water is when water is coming into the tank via your drip line, it's going to raise up until it reaches this. And mind you, this is already primed. Now, of course, you have to check it every day to make sure there's no bubbles in the line. But this is already primed, and once the water fills up and reaches that tube, it's automatically going to overflow. So that's why you don't need a siphon break with this, guys, because, you know, there's no electricity that can fail. I mean, you're using water lines, no pumps or anything like that. So it overflows into here, creates a reservoir, comes up through the tube. So water isn't actually traveling through this PVC. It's only traveling through this tube. Comes back here, fills up, and then drains. Right? So that's how you build it, and I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope it was helpful. As always, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've done. Hope y'all have an awesome day, and we'll see y'all next time. Peace out.